Here are the 8 contestants preparing for tonight's show. These people have already appeared on the daily Weakest Link and walked away as winners. This evening, they've returned to play for double the money, £20,000. But 7 of them will leave with nothing as they learn what it's like to be voted the Weakest Link.
Weakest Link. Any of the 8 people in the studio here tonight could win up to £20,000. They don't know each other, however. If they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team. Last time they appeared on the show, they all left as winners, but this evening, 7 of them will leave with nothing. As round by round, we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm Nigel. I'm a 37-year-old primary school teacher from Leicester.
I'm Natasha. I'm a 32-year-old business travel manager from Hampton in Middlesex.
I'm Simon. I'm a 45-year-old bar supervisor from Norwich.
I'm David, 36. I'm an inserts manager from Leicestershire.
I'm Andrew, 26, a psychiatric nurse from Beeley in Worcestershire.
I'm Penny, I'm a 36-year-old English teacher from Birmingham.
I'm Pat, I'm 54, I'm a writer from Harrogate.
I'm Donna, I'm 28 and I'm a student midwife from Milton Keynes.
Now the rules. In each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £2,500 target within the time limit. So the fastest way is to create a chain of 8 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. In round 1, there are 2.5 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Andrew. Let's play the weakest link. And the first question is for £50. Start the clock. Andrew, in the human body, what part of the skeleton protects the lungs?
The rib cage.
Correct. Penny, 1887 saw the Golden Jubilee of which British monarch?
Queen Victoria.
Correct. Pat, how many pockets are there on a standard pool table?
6.
Correct. Donna.
Bank.
The Channel Tunnel runs between Calais and which English town?
Dover.
Correct. Nigel, in the Christian calendar, what day comes immediately after Shrove Tuesday?
Ash Wednesday.
Correct. Natasha, how many colours of the rainbow are usually seen?
5.
7. Simon, in the US, New York City is situated at the mouth of what major river?
Hudson.
Correct. David, in the animal kingdom, how many species of elephants are there?
2.
Correct. Andrew.
Bank.
Which TV show, first seen on BBC Two, introduced Big Ted and Humpty?
Play school.
Correct. Penny, worn by Tommy Cooper, the fez takes its name from a city in which country?
Turkey.
Morocco. Pat, in language, what is the usual 3-word response to the chant Oggy, Oggy, Oggy?
I.
No. Oi, oi, oi.
It's your pronunciation.
Donna, in clothing, name the Scottish woven cloth which uses different cross-banded patterns to identify different clans.
Kilt.
Tartan. Nigel, what was the earliest timekeeping device now used mainly as a garden ornament?
The sundial.
Correct. Natasha, who played the character John McClane, a New York policeman in the Die Hard films?
Bruce Willis.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
In history, was a Roman legion normally composed of 600 or 6,000 soldiers?
600.
6,000. David, in which sport are there categories called lightweight double sculls and lightweight quad sculls?
Sailing.
Rowing. Andrew, in which country would you enjoy a beach holiday in the Algarve?
Portugal.
Correct. Penny, which children's comic was published first, the Dandy or the Beano?
The Beano.
The Dandy. Pat, the American colony of Virginia was named after which Virgin Queen of England?
Elizabeth I.
Correct. Donna, Complete the title of the 1958 H.E. Bates novel, The Darling Buds of what?
May.
Correct. Nigel.
Bank.
On what island off the south coast of England would you find the town of Newport?
Isle of Wight.
Correct. Natasha. In science, what number on the pH scale is neutral? Time's up. The correct answer was 7. And in that round, you banked a very unimpressive £500, team. You could have won £2,500. Who's letting you down? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The first weakest link statistically is Penny, because she got the most questions wrong. Nigel is the strongest link. He answered all his questions correctly and gained the most money for the team. But how will the votes go?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Penny.
Penny.
Donna.
Natasha.
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 Simon.
David.
Right, team. When we began this evening, I explained that you were all previous winners on this show, which must be puzzling for the audience and embarrassing for you because there's absolutely no evidence of your skill during that last round. David, what did Natasha do to upset you?
Nothing to upset me, but just too many questions wrong.
Penny, you're a teacher, are you?
I am.
Right. How do you think you did in that round, Penny?
Terrible.
That's about accurate. That's one question you've answered correctly, because statistically,
Thanks.
you were the worst player.
I probably was, yeah.
But Natasha, it's votes that count. With 3 votes, the team have decided you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
The very first walk of shame is thankfully my last walk of shame. That is the worst feeling in the world, especially when you've never had to do it before, and this is the second time I've been on the show. I'm just glad I've got it over and done with. I think Donna will go next. I can see that on the first round that she looked rather nervous, and I've got a feeling that might get to her because Anne seems to be giving us a pretty hard time out there this time. So I think Donna might break.
Round 2, and out of a possible £2,500, you put in the bank just £500. So to say there is huge scope for improvement is probably an understatement. There are 7 of you left. We are now taking 10 seconds off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's you, Nigel. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Nigel, what does an American eat either sunny side up or over easy?
Pancakes.
Eggs. Simon, Diva was the Roman name for which English city, Chester or York?
Chester.
Correct. David, in literature, which author's characters include Stilton Cheesewright and Bertie Wooster?
Pass.
P.G. Wodehouse. Andrew, in art, what was the nationality of the painter Gustav Klimt? German or Austrian?
German.
Austrian. Penny, what was the first word of the title of the 2 Disney films I Shrunk the Kids and I Blew Up the Kid?
Honey.
Correct. Pat, in food, which oil is highest in saturated fats? Walnut, sesame seed or palm kernel?
Palm kernel.
Correct. Donna, which singer born in Cardiff in 1937 was made a Dame of the British Empire this year?
Shirley Bassey.
Correct. Nigel, in the New Testament, who is called the beloved physician, Luke or Matthew?
Luke.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
Does the city of Inverness lie to the north or south of Edinburgh?
South.
North. David, which gas comprises about 21% of the atmosphere?
Air.
Oxygen. Andrew, in which children's TV series did the characters Tucker Jenkins and Alan Humphreys appear?
Grange Hill.
Correct. Penny, Which seaside resort hosted both the Liberal Democrat and Conservative Party conferences this year?
Brighton.
Bournemouth. Pat. In history, at which naval battle of 1805 did Nelson defeat Villeneuve?
Trafalgar.
Correct. Donna. In maths, if each side of an Egyptian pyramid is 220 metres long, how far would you walk if you went right round it?
Can you repeat the question, the number that you said there, please?
I can repeat the question.
Yeah.
In maths, if each side of an Egyptian pyramid is 220 metres long, how far would you walk if you went right round it?
240 metres.
880 metres. Nigel. In the animal kingdom, which J is the largest South American cat?
Jaguar.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
In the TV sitcom My Family, what is the occupation of Ben, played by Robert Lindsay?
Dentist.
Correct. David. Time is up, and you missed out again on your £2,500 in that round. You did marginally better than the first round. You banked £550. Let me remind you, slow coaches and ditherers have no place on the team. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
With no wrong answers, Pat is the strongest link statistically. David is the weakest link because he didn't get a single question right. But will the votes follow the facts?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Donna.
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 Penny.
Simon. Why Donna?
I was in two minds, but that pyramid thing clinched it. It just went on too long. And then wrong answer at the end of it.
How do you think you did?
I was wrong, but at least I was wrong quickly.
Nigel. Why Donna?
Same reason, really. It was the pyramid that did it.
David. Why Donna?
Same reason as the other guys.
I don't know what reason. I'm asking you, why Donna?
Because it took too long on the pyramid question.
Statistically, you were the worst player, weren't you?
I was.
But Donna, unanimously, the team have decided you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Very disappointed to be voted off so quick. I knew it was going to happen though as soon as that question with the pyramid, and I hesitated quite a lot on it, and I just knew I was going to be voted out on that one question. I think Penny will probably be voted off next. She has just scraped through the last two rounds anyway. She was the weakest link in the first round and got away with it basically, and she didn't do too well on the second round either.
Round 3, team. By now, you could have won £5,000. What you have in the bank is just £1,050. You are down to 6 players. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Pat. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Pat, what name is given to the ceremony whereby a British monarch is publicly anointed, blessed and consecrated?
Coronation.
Correct. Nigel. What is the nationality of the Formula One driver Rubens Barrichello?
Brazilian.
Correct. Simon. In which Thackeray novel does Captain Crawley marry Becky Sharp?
Pass.
Vanity Fair. David. The Rainbow Bridge is a viewing point for which major North American tourist attraction?
Niagara Falls.
Correct. Andrew. Which city is the annual home of Britain's largest fringe theatre festival?
Edinburgh.
Correct. Penny. In carpentry, what J is the name for a piece of timber onto which floorboards are nailed?
A joist.
Correct. Pat.
Bank.
In the Bible, what did Noah build from gopher wood?
The Ark.
Correct. Nigel. In the human body, the hormone adrenaline is produced by glands associated with which organs?
Pancreas.
Kidneys. Simon. Which controversial English artist won the Turner Prize in 1995?
Gone.
Damien Hirst. David. In music, Babylon was a UK hit song this year for which singer?
Pass.
David Gray. Andrew, in science, what B is the name given to the study of the motion of projectiles?
Ballistics.
Correct. Penny, which British composer is depicted on the current Bank of England £20 note?
Elgar.
Correct. Pat, in which English county are the towns of Penrith and Keswick?
Cumbria.
Correct. Nigel, in food, Reuben, club and dagwood are all types of what?
Vegetable.
Sandwich. Simon, according to British tradition, in a Christian marriage, does the bride stand on the left or the right side of the groom?
On the right.
Left. David, the star constellation, the Big Dipper, is also known by the name of which farming tool?
The plough.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
in literature, the husbands of which fictional character included Charles Hamilton and Rhett Butler?
Scarlett O'Hara.
Correct. Penny,
Bank.
which M is an animal found in India and known for its ability to kill snakes?
Pass.
Mongoose. Pat, which historic... Time's up. I cannot complete the question. And in that round, another dismal performance. You banked just £400. Who is letting you down? Think carefully. Who is hindering your progress? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the second round in a row, Pat is the strongest link. The weakest link statistically is Simon. He failed to answer any questions correctly. But will the team have picked up on this?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Simon.
David.
Simon.
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 Nigel, what do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher, Anne.
You're actually a coordinator for science in the school.
I certainly am.
Are you sure about that? Adrenaline produced by glands associated with which organ?
That's definitely O-level stuff.
Have you not got any O-levels, Nigel? So, why Simon?
He didn't answer anything right.
Right. Well, you only answered one question correctly, didn't you?
Went more than Simon.
Simon,
Yes.
statistically, you were the worst player. You didn't get a single question right. And with 5 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
This time it seemed a lot more frightening to me than the first time. The first time all of it seemed more relaxed, but this time it really was scary. I think David will be voted off next. I don't think he's got the breadth of knowledge, and I think where the rest of us were old painters, he's a bit of a watercolour.
Round 4 team, you've banked £1,450. That's out of potential prize money of £7,500. There are 5 of you left. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. You now have just 2 minutes. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Pat. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Pat, in the book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which creature does Alice follow to enter Wonderland?
The White Rabbit.
Correct. Nigel, Leith is the port area of which major British city?
Liverpool.
Edinburgh. David, auction and contract are both popular forms of which card game?
Bridge.
Correct. Andrew, in 1982, which flagship of King Henry VIII's fleet was raised from the seabed off Southsea?
Murray Rose.
Correct. Penny, in the 17th century, physician William Harvey introduced his theory about the circulation of what in the human body?
The blood.
Correct. Pat,
Bank.
which major river flows between Rochester and Chatham in Kent?
I don't know.
The Medway. Nigel, in Lonely Hearts adverts, what do the letters TLC stand for?
Tender loving care.
Correct. David, in which Star Wars film do the characters the Ewoks first appear?
Return of the Jedi.
Correct. Andrew.
Bank.
Which country awards the Purple Heart to those wounded in military action?
America.
Correct. Penny, In a petrol engine, what name is given to the device which ignites the petrol-air mixture?
The spark plug.
Correct, Pat. Which fashion designing family would you associate with the names Gianni, Donatella and Santo?
Versace.
Correct. Nigel, in music, Dana International won the 1998 Eurovision Song Contest for which country?
Israel.
Correct. David, in TV, what is the name of the handyman on Ground Force?
Pat.
Tommy Walsh. Andrew, because of its sparkling appearance, what name is given to glass to which a small amount of lead has been added?
Crystal.
Correct. Penny, on the 24th of February 1989, the funeral of which Japanese emperor took place in Tokyo?
Hirohito.
Correct. Pat,
Bang.
in the human body, which A is the protein produced when a foreign body or antigen invades?
Adrenaline.
Time's up. The correct answer was antibody. And in that round, you managed to bank just £600. Whose light has been fading as we have progressed? Who is holding you back? It's time to vote on the weakest link.
David is the weakest link for the second time in the game. Although he wasn't the only player to get a question wrong, he failed to bank money for the team. The strongest link is Andrew, but will the votes reflect the statistics?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Pat.
Nigel.
David.
Pat.
David.
Team, we have a tie. Pat and David, 2 votes each. Nigel, why Pat?
It was a pretty close round, but I remember him getting 2 questions wrong.
Pat, why David?
Because he got questions wrong that he should have got right, and I thought it was going to cost the team money.
Right. When the vote is tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. Andrew, you were the strongest link in the last round. You voted for David, but you can change your mind. Who would you prefer to get rid of? David or Pat?
Well, I wasn't paying much attention to who got what wrong, so I'll be a bit controversial and I'll choose Pat.
Why have you changed?
I think Pat's a bit of a threat to us later on.
Oh, I didn't realise you were a coward, Andrew.
Oh, I am.
Pat, Andrew has decided you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It's very sickening to be voted out late in the game, particularly on the casting vote, which was changed by the fellow who made it. I think they'll probably regret it later. I think it's knocked out what he said was the strongest link, or a threat to him, too early. I think it'll cost them money, and they'll regret it in the long run. If I were to say I didn't want Andrew to win, that would be because he changed his mind and voted me off on his casting vote. I think he will win because I think he's got the best general knowledge of the few remaining people. I hope he doesn't.
Round 5, team. Your total so far is £2,050. If you'd hit your targets, it would be £10,000. 4 players left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Andrew. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Andrew, in the 1950s, what sort of women's fashion garment was known as a baby doll?
Trousers.
Light dress. Penny, in the closing ceremony at this year's Olympic Games, who entered the Olympic Stadium on a giant flip-flop to sing ABBA's Dancing Queen?
Pass.
Kylie Minogue. Nigel, in which country was the Godfather novelist Maria Puzo born?
Italy.
America. David, what is the name of the building in central Brighton designed by John Nash for the future King George IV?
The Pavilion.
It's Royal Pavilion. Andrew, in which American city is there a famous tourist area called the French Quarter?
New York.
New Orleans. Penny, which planet shares its name with the Roman messenger of the gods?
Mars.
Mercury. Nigel, in pop music, Against All Odds was a hit this year for Mariah Carey and which boy band?
Boyzone.
Westlife. David, is London Zoo in Hyde Park, Regent's Park or Green Park?
Regent's Park.
Correct. Andrew, in the 1939 film Wuthering Heights, which English actor played the brooding Heathcliff?
Pass.
Laurence Olivier. Penny, in which sport is England's Lee Westwood a highly ranked player?
Rugby league.
Golf. Nigel, Indira Gandhi Airport serves which Indian city?
New Delhi.
Delhi, correct. David, in history, the markswoman Annie Oakley appeared in which Wild West show?
Pass.
Buffalo Bills. Andrew, the collectible penny black postage stamp bears which English monarch's head?
Victoria.
Queen Victoria. Penny, in US politics, Joseph Lieberman is the first man from which religion? Time is up. I cannot complete the question. You managed to answer only 3 questions correctly, and you banked precisely 0. It hardly seems worth asking who's holding you back, but one of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
In a disappointing round, the statistics show that Nigel is the strongest link. Penny is the weakest link, as she was the only player to get all her answers wrong. But whose game is over?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Penny.
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 Nigel.
Andrew, why Penny?
Because I think in a diabolical round, she was the only one who didn't get a question right.
You just got the one right.
I did, yes, but like the other contestants, I only got one right.
Nigel, why Penny?
Because she didn't get any questions right, then also it would make me the top teacher on the show.
Penny, statistically you were the worst player. Unanimously, the team have voted you the weakest link. Bye.
I think I'm going to have my leg pulled about not getting Kylie Minogue right, being such a disco diva myself. The kids at school are going to give me a lot of stick about that, but I didn't know it, so sorry. I think the next person to be voted off will be David, because he's as bad as me and has had many lucky chances and he's lucky to be there.
Round 6. We struggle on. You have £2,050 out of the £12,500 you could have won by now. There are 3 of you left. Another 10 seconds is coming off the clock. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Nigel. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Nigel, in classical music, Death in Venice was the last opera of which British composer?
Elgar.
Benjamin Britten. David, California white muscat grapes are grown especially for making what?
Wine.
Raisins. Andrew, in medicine, an otoscope is an instrument for examining which part of the body?
The ear.
Correct. Nigel, in the New Testament, what is the collective name given to the riders of the white, red, black and pale horses?
Valkyrie.
No, 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. David, which British supermodel has dated Mike Tyson, Robert De Niro and Adam Clayton of U2?
Naomi Campbell.
Correct, Andrew. If you drove out of London to the end of the M3 motorway, at which city would you arrive?
Bristol.
Southampton. Nigel, which royal had a holiday villa in Moustique that was recently put up for sale by her son?
Princess Diana.
Princess Margaret. David, which is the northernmost country of Latin America?
Brazil.
Mexico. Andrew, which ET grubs, the larvae of large moths, was first eaten as a delicacy in which country?
Australia.
Correct. Nigel, which American singer had hits in the UK with the albums Nice and Easy and My Way?
Frank Sinatra.
Correct. David, which bird has varieties called canvasback, harlequin and golden eye?
Eagle.
Duck. Andrew. The lira made up of 100 karouche is the currency for which country?
Italy.
Turkey. Nigel. In biology, what do you call the soft sponge-like... The time is up. I cannot complete the question. And in that round, team, you won £100. Now, in round 7, you do get the chance to double what you bank. That means in the next round, there's £5,000 to be won. The question is, who is least likely to get that bank balance up? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The weakest link statistically is Nigel. He only answered one question correctly and failed to bank any money for the team. Andrew is the strongest link, but at this crucial stage of the game, how will the votes go?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
David.
Nigel.
David.
Andrew. Why David?
Well, I think I saved his bacon last time, but now he's got to go.
You saved his bacon last time.
I did.
He banked £100 in the last round. Do you think he might have saved your bacon, Andrew?
Depends on whether I win or not.
Nigel, you're the worst player statistically, but it's votes that count. David, with 2 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It feels good to be a champion first time around. I feel very proud of actually coming on and playing against other guys that have won lots of money, and I can go away with my head held high. Andrew will win the final. I think he's answered most questions consistently, and I think he'll do so again in the final.
Round 17. By now you could have won £15,000, but actually in the kitty is £2,150. Andrew and Nigel, it's the 2 of you left, and this time you have 90 seconds. But whatever you win in this round will be doubled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. So £5,000 is at stake in this round. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Andrew. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Andrew, in music, which of the famous 3 tenors is Italian?
Luciano Pavarotti.
Correct. Nigel, in which sport is all or part of the playing field called the diamond?
Baseball.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
who is the famous actress, sister of actor Eric Roberts?
Julia.
Correct. Nigel, the World Championships of which board game took place in Toronto in October this year?
Monopoly.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
in history, if Elizabethan describes the age of Queen Elizabeth I, which word describes that of King James I of England?
Jacobean.
Correct. And Nigel, the unit of currency in Panama is named after which explorer, Balboa or Columbus?
Balboa.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
in the TV series Last of the Summer Wine, what was the name of Nora Batty's deceased husband?
Pass.
Wally. Nigel, in 1431, St Joan of Arc was burned at the stake in which city?
Orleans.
Rouen. Andrew, American artist James Whistler's most famous portrait, painted in 1871, features which member of his family?
His mother.
Correct. Nigel, Olympus Mons is the highest volcano on which planet?
Mars.
Correct. Andrew,
Bank.
in film, which comedian played several members of the Clump family in this year's sequel to The Nutty Professor?
Eddie Murphy.
Correct. Nigel, in 1956, the racehorse Devon Lock was owned by which member of the royal family?
Queen Mother.
Correct. Andrew. Andrew, you banked just in time. And an impressive round. You only got 2 questions wrong. But you didn't make it to £2,500. You won £500. We'll double that and add it to the winnings from the previous round. That means total prize money this evening of £3,150. But only one of you can take that money away. You will now be playing against each other, head to head. I'll ask alternate questions, It's the best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5 questions each, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So, Nigel and Andrew, for £3,150, let's play the weakest link. Andrew is the strongest link in the last round. You have the choice of who goes first.
I'll go first.
Andrew, in which year did Australia celebrate its bicentenary?
1998.
No, the correct answer is 1988. Nigel, in Britain, darters and hawkers are 2 main groups of which flying insects that cannot walk?
Wasps.
No, the correct answer is dragonflies. Andrew, the winner of which section of the Tour de France gets to wear a red polka dot jersey?
The first section.
The correct answer is King of the Mountains. Nigel, if you sail from Grimsby or Cleethorpes, you'll be in which shipping forecast area?
Humber.
That is the correct answer. Andrew, what was the name of the American space station first launched in 1973?
Mia.
The correct answer is Skylab. Nigel, who is the female hero of the Tomb Raider computer games?
Leia.
No. Correct answer is Lara Croft. Nigel is still ahead by 1 question. Andrew, should old acquaintance be forgot is the first line of a song traditionally sung at New Year. What is the second line?
I think it's for old acquaintance, be forgot again.
No, the correct answer is and never brought to mind. Nigel, if you answer this question correctly, you have won the game. So, for £3,150. In politics, who in 1981 was the only woman in the SDP's Gang of 4?
Shirley Williams.
That is the correct answer. That means, Nigel, you are tonight's strongest link, and you go away with £3,150. Andrew, you leave with nothing. Join us again for the weakest link. Goodbye.
I haven't really got any bad feelings towards Nigel. He got the questions right when it mattered.
For the moment, I'm going to probably put the prize money away until my children are a little bit older and we'll perhaps go on some exotic foreign holiday.